dozens of dares, 1,000 theories. But what if the truth was right in front of us all along? Today, I'm piecing together the entire story using only the original FNAF games. 4 games, 1 story. We start our tale with FNAF 4 where...
Bite of 87?
No, Mark. We actually start in 1983 where we have 2 people creating something grand. Henry Emily, the inventor who created animatronics with life, made 2 spring-lock suits called Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie. They could operate both as animatronics and as suits by a mechanism called spring locks. Though William Afton was a businessman who knew how to market and run a business, but he grew a bit jealous over Henry's creations on how they always felt like they could bring life into them. The location name would be called Freddy's Family Diner, and there families lived a happy life for a time where Henry had a daughter named Charlie, William Afton had a son named Michael Afton, and another son named David Afton, or Dave, or the crying child, depending on how you want to look at it. Though there was always a room for a daughter, but he couldn't for some reason. And sadly, his wife died because she birthed 2 sons and couldn't birth a daughter, and he was expecting a daughter. So it just couldn't happen. You know, don't think about it, guys. Just don't think about it too much. And after the success of the family diner, Henry decided to open up a new location of his own creations. Bonnie, Freddie, Chica, and Foxy. These 4 entertained lots of kids and were able to go on TV shows with their own toys and merchandise. The animatronics spread joy and happiness to all the children, but one was not happy. David was scared of the animatronics as he saw that his father would stop people in animatronics. Oh no! And looking more closely, he could see hellish nightmares spring forth from his favorite animatronics. You would even get spooked by his brother Michael with a Foxy mask, as that was the one animatronic that scared him the most. And the older brother saw it humorous. So on the crying child's 7-year-old birthday, he decided to do a prank with his buddies of his. They decided to let Dave kiss one of the animatronics, Golden Freddy. But they accidentally put the child in the animatronic's jaw, and with tears in the child's eyes, the jaw snapped shut. Everyone panicked. Immediately, the child was rushed to the hospital, but he could not be saved. There, his father, brother, and the brother's friends all knelt beside him. The brother finally apologizing for the first time in his life says sorry, and that he is forever broken. For William couldn't accept the fact that his son had died. No, it was impossible. He knew what he had to do. He had to put his son back together and uttered a vow to his son. I will put you back together. After dealing with all the hospital mess, he decides to just take his son Michael back to his house. And there, sitting in the car, pissed off at how his only friend Henry was doing just fine. In fact, he was thriving off of all their creations, and yet he was broken, beaten up, pissed that he couldn't have the life that Henry had. And so he decided to head over to one of the establishments, Fredbear's Family Diner, where while driving out back, he noticed one child outside, Charlie, Henry's daughter, and seeing an opportunity, he decided to get out of the car and kill Charlie. He felt a sense of relief, a bit of ease. Finally, he could give some pain to Henry. Finally, Henry could finally know what it felt like to know loss, what it felt like to lose something of your own creations. So after that night, he went to his house and checked on one of his sons, where we found him sitting on the couch watching TV. He went to go check on his other son, the one that died. But for him, this was routine. For he would go outside and always find a shattered window with 3-toed footprints near it. He told himself that when his son got back, he'll be sorry. But his son never got back. Henry, devastated of the news that his daughter died, decided to take his grief out in making new animatronics inspired by his old creations. Toy animatronics. And he decided to reopen and rebrand the establishment as Five Nights at Freddy's Juniors. Or FNAF Juniors. Needing a security guard role, William insisted that he became a night guard, as he would reduce the money and keep their profits up. But acting was a bit different. Every time he saw a child, he thought of hellish things, such as murdering 5 kids, and decided to blame it on a well-favored character, Foxy, as he loved Foxy, but also loved Henry enduring suffering, enduring more pain like he had to go through, and felt happy that his bloodlust was quenched. But unfortunately, he was seen on the camera and was sent to jail, though he was put on bail, as there wasn't any good evidence for him being on the crime scene. And so pissed off, he decided to go on a killing spree, but this time, he decided to wear a mask. Maybe a golden body suit? Well, to be more exact, he decided to wear a costume, and decided to wear something not really associated with the company, with Henry. Golden Bonnie was his choice. And so he went to the back rooms that was not monitored in the cameras. And why there were no cameras, you may ask? Well, it's because Henry wanted to forget the events of the 1983 incident with William's son. So he put the golden animatronics in the back rooms and just put it there. Just trying to forget. But William didn't want to forget. No, he wanted Henry to remember the pain, the agony. Forget the past, the pain, the trauma? No, William thought. And so, with the Bonnie suit in hand, he took a blade from the kitchen and killed 4 children and decided to put them all in the franchise bin as sort of nostalgia and joy from the first killing. As he wanted Henry to endure torment, to never forget the nightmares that terrorized them both. But the kids lie, empty, cold, longing for happiness and joy, being snuffed out. But there was one that could save them. The puppet, Charlie. At first, she gave gifts, but the children lay in agony. So, the puppet did the last thing it could. It stuffed them in the animatronics into the original 4, Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, and Freddy. But there was a 5th child the puppet couldn't truly save. Day. And so, Henry, trying to forget the past, decided to rebrand everything, to a name called Five Nights at Freddy's Juniors, as he wanted to redeem himself for the open room that he had let bleed. So he put the toy animatronics together with facial recognition, hoping that such an event would never happen again. And they needed to get a security card for the day and night. So Henry decided to hire a guy named Jeremy as a night guard, but after him complaining about the situation, he was moved over to the day shift, and so that left a vacant position where Mike Schmidt. But this was no ordinary Mike. No, it was Michael Afton. But not wanting Henry to know that he was associated with his father, as he needed to get out of the house due to his father's violent outbursts and wanting to be closer to his brother, began working in the Five Nights at Freddy's Juniors. And there, he booted up the phone tapes, and what he had heard shocked his very core. It was Henry. Though he acted like an employee working there, he could tell from the voice alone it was Henry. And Smith heard that the animatronics would be able to free roam at night due to an AI bug in the system, thinking you're a naked endoskeleton, and the only way to get them out of the office would be wearing a Freddy mask. As we have Toy Chica, Toy Bunny, Toy Freddy, Balloon Boy, Mangle, and the Wizards, which are just the original animatronics, but then their parts were used for the toy animatronics. Look, don't make it more confusing than it needs to be, guys, okay? Alright, they're just withered, broken animatronics, and their parts were used to make the toys, okay? Though Foxy, for some reason, is not food as the others, as you have to use a flashlight in order to get rid of him. And sometime when Mike was stressed out, he started to hallucinate something from his past. But there it was. Golden Freddy. His heart started racing and palpitating as his brain couldn't handle all the guilt they had long suppressed, and so his brain forgot it all, as it never happened. And then one day, while he's on his night shift, something happens. The light flickers, animatronics move like usual, but one started to become erratic, and so the bite of 87 happened. Early in the morning, William got a call saying that his son is in the hospital. Yes, his second son. Will snaps and heads over to the hospital. There, he found that his son lost his frontal lobe, but he was still breathing. William was pissed again. Not another son, taken away, all because of one of Henry's creations made him lose his family, his pain. So he decided to take his own hands. He decided to be a security guard and went under the alias Jimmy Fitzgerald. And there, while working as the night shift, he heard Henry talk about the bite of 1987, but just gloss over it, trying to forget the past yet again. That truly pissed him off. So he went on another killing spree, killing 5 more kids, and Henry had to deal with the backlash from the community, so he decided to rebrand again to the old animatronics, to Five Nights at Freddy's, as he wanted not only him but the people to forget the past. Ran the scrapping free roaming mode and keeping Pirates Cove out of order, as he didn't want another bite victim to be made, as Mago had a big jaw, and Foxy has a big jaw. So, that's why Pirates Cove is out of order, because Henry doesn't want to have to deal with another lawsuit, another thing that would remind him of the horrors he's created. And the rebranding was Five Nights at Freddy's, where we have Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, Freddy, and who to take up the night guard? Jeremy Schmidt. But something's off. The animatronics, they move, not by AI. No, surely not, William thought. But William grew curious. Perhaps maybe this is the key to make amends. Maybe if he learned from these animatronics, maybe he could put his son back together. So he decided to break each animatronic, trying to figure out how they tick, how the trick to rebirth was made, how it worked. And yet, nothing happened. But then he started seeing something. Ghouls that alter the laws of physics. He saw his victims' ghosts. 4 he could take. 4 of them looked appalling. It terrified William to his very core. It was Dave, the innocent young boy. Did he let down? Did he let die because he was not there? All these things, all these questions rushed to his mind. The guilt, the pain. He needed safety. He looked around and saw it. Spring bodysuit. And he went into the suit to protect him, thinking he was invincible, as he thought these beings might mistake him for a suit. But then something happened. Something that William hadn't really noticed, but was now aware of what it was. Rain started the area, pouring in, touching everything in its path, even the spring-locked chute. And one by one, they started to snap. Screams could be heard as William lay twitching, almost on the verge of death. The next day, the morning starts, and Ernie checks his business area, where he finds a disarray of victims, blood, gore, all leading to the back rooms, where you could see were a trail of broken parts leading to William. And there, you could see it, a man in a spring-lock suit with a knife. And immediately, everything clicked for Henry. And so, he hurriedly shut down the place and boarded up the back rooms. There, he opened a box, put a picture of him and William, a Freddy mask, a green band that his daughter wore, and locked the box, and saying that some things are best left forgotten. 30 years later, someone decided to open up a horror fright attraction under the name Fazbear Frights. There they used the FNAF IP as a way to make money, but they needed a security guard, and who to fill that role? Why, it was Henry. Shocked at what had transpired, he put in the resume and got the job. There, the place was broken and barely functional. Wires lay about, were some active and some not. He started working, getting used to the computer and ventilation systems. There, he heard audio tapes, and it was Mike. Surprised that he was the one that made the tapes, made the establishment. He continued his work, for he knew what he had to do. Let the past die once and for all. And yet, on the monitor, he could see ghouls, monsters of his own design. He wondered how could this be? Maybe stressed or shocked, he didn't think. All he knew was that he needed to overcome his fears and put the past behind him once and for all. After some jump scares and rebooting the system, he heads in for the night, wondering what he should do with such a revelation. The next morning he arrives at work, ready to burn the place down, but then he heard something strange on the tapes, something that disturbed his very fiber of being. They found an animatronic, found somewhere in the back rooms. Henry jolted, hastily clicking the cameras, trying to find where the animatronic was. And there, in the dark corners, he found it. William Afton, or rather, a shell of the past, as he looked around at the control desk trying to find something to get rid of the monsters. After clicking and pressing buttons, he found something. A child's voice giggling in the corner. And immediately, the monstrous form William Afton reacted, leaping toward the sound, but it was to the fence. Henry heard the screeching and tried pushing the button to a different room, but William was still in the fence. So he trapped the ventilation system, knowing it would deteriorate the power. And so he prayed that he would make it out alive, as William started breaking through the door. And now, in the room with Henry fought back, using his most greatest weapon, the fan. Chucking at William's face, the monster finally unconscious, Henry took a deep breath and decided that enough was enough. And so, he connected one of the wires. Sparks fly about, flames scorched the earth, and there, everything burned. Even the newspaper got a picture of the flames. And finally, at long last, Henry could forget it all. No! Ah!
I always come back.
Hey, so, I have a great idea. I think you should watch this video up here about me discussing why I'm so addicted to FNAF Future Simulator and why it's the best game out of all the games in the franchise. So, yeah, just click it right there, and, yeah, I just gotta, find out where Spring Bonnie is. It's the... I don't know, we'll see.